nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Roll call. Buck Johnson.
Jeff Jones.
Mike Spinks.
Ed Hines.
Ed Hines.
Covenant Levy.
And I believe we have everyone also signed in. For your information on the agenda, you'll see the one panel here on the right-hand side. That is because the state has changed the requirements to post this particular information on each public meeting that we have for the officials that are elected or appointed for that purpose and all. So what you're seeing there are your appointment dates for operations of what the statute requires. So that's why it's there. Okay? I think you're ready for the approval of minutes then.
All right. Approval on the minutes from the previous meeting.
Aye.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passed.
I have the copy here. I'd like to circulate for signature then.
Okay.
I can't believe the last time we met was in January.
I know it.
What a wild year.
Means the city must be doing pretty well.
We
don't have
must
bad
be,
meetings,
that's
so.
right.
Do you guys keep using?
Well, let's have, Brett, you want to come up here and have a position behind the microphone, because we do have to record everything and all. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your project, and Hunter, could you bring up the map that we've got? Do you have that?
I don't think.
Okay, if each of you would call up your,
Yeah, got it in the packet.
your minutes and stuff like that, you'll see the outline of the area. There are several colors. One, the black outline is the entire 3 tracks and
Which
all.
page is this?
It's in the very bottom.
It's the very bottom. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You'll get there.
There you
Got
go.
it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the black outline is the entire 3 parcels and all, and then the orange line is the area that he seeks to rezone, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of outlined it red there
Oh, yours is red, okay.
on the part that I'm wanting to rezone.
Okay.
So I'm Brett Franklin with Franklin O'Neill Estate. And so we had purchased the old Casebear Sawmill site. And so we've just worked on some equipment stuff. Our plans are to run the mill in the future, but, so there's 2 houses that already exist on the property there, and then, people had rented off Casebear's there. They call it the Mobley Building. He had like an auctioneer, in a little block building, and then there's, just a metal pole building right behind it, right there along Walnut Street. And then Market Street, it's in between those 2 streets, which is the dead end between Rannard's and those buildings, Rannard's Auto Repair. So, what I was trying to do is, look that maybe we could do a little house, maybe a duplex on that other section or something right through there on the areas that are, grass areas there, so. But, you know, he no longer occupies that building there,
Okay.
in the front, so it's empty.
But what is it used for, if anything? The building?
The building, back then he just had like a little auctioneer shop in there, nothing, it's not used for anything, it's just vacant.
It's not a public access building either, though.
No, it's just a block. Private building, yeah. So,
As we told Brett, we could not take any official action today because we have to give public notice of any rezone, et cetera, and it's impossible to get the newspaper cycle of anything to get notice in there, et cetera. So this was a preliminary review of anything that you wanted to raise as a question that he would need to know more about. We probably need to have a survey description of these properties.
Yeah, it's
That's what
already,
you've
yeah,
got
I've already
now.
turned it in with my permit process.
Okay,
So
so we'll need to get that to the, now tell us a little.
Tiffany has that. I mean, I know this was just
Okay.
kind of, because she didn't meet the deadline. I turned everything in time, but
Yeah.
she didn't get it out. So,
It looks like that's also in our packet too, the
yes.
survey.
Can you tell us a little bit about this particular area right in here at the, or whatever direction that would be, east or west of that, or north or south? This area right here, what is?
Yeah,
it?
this is north, so
Okay.
yeah, to the west.
Okay, so this area on the west end of what you propose to rezone, what is the material that's there?
They had some lumber stacks that had stacked up
Okay.
where they sold.
Is there any of that material that has been involved with creosoting?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, everything was green lumber sold to dry kiln
Okay.
places. It's been
So there-
sawmill for
there's
probably
no
4
issue.
generations.
Yeah, and I think it would be good for our building inspector to take a tour of it and all,
Sure.
to make sure about any requirements on setbacks and all, okay? To make sure that the boundaries between the residential properties and the other areas would be maintained and all. But I think that those things can all be done in due course. And of course, the commission members are welcome to take a look at the site physically by going there and taking a look at it and all. Mike, did you have any other questions you were raising last night in the town council meeting about?
Oh,
the-
other than your neighbor to the south.
Right.
Not south, but what direction that,
That's Finzer Roller, that big building.
Yeah, the old
Yeah.
Finzer, which I sold to them, I used to own
Yeah.
that, but
he's narrowed the road in there with some big cement blocks. We have to work around them to get to the sewage plant. But they're on his right of way, but there's not a whole lot of room. We've got some construction going to go on in there with replacement of our sewage plant equipment, and we might have to get a crane in or something of that nature, so have to be very careful. But he's been a fairly good neighbor, like anything. They want their property and they protect it. But
What's your timeline on when you'd like to be doing work in the area?
on the rezone, I mean, obviously, if we get the okay, then we'll probably start doing something on it.
Right away?
Right away, so.
You're gonna build right across from Raynard's.
Is the-
It's set back a little bit from the street, is that?
Well, that building's really close to the street right there, and Raynard's is right there on the street too.
Yeah.
I think it's a 40, I think it's like a 40-foot
mhm.
street right through there, and then it just dead ends into the
Yeah.
property going west.
I mean, where that sets back just a little bit along there, that doesn't impinge on what you're thinking of doing. Because you're,
That building's already there, and then there's a pole building right behind it that's set right along the street there.
yeah,
I know this map I have here shows a black dotted line, but it goes over into the adjacent properties there. I didn't know how. Is this the accurate survey?
Yes, that's a survey that we did
behind Finzer.
for the rezone.
To the
Right-
west,
survey
Right in
for it.
here, where that comes around
yeah,
the
that's the
curve.
west of Finzer.
Yeah,
That parcel is currently zoned, is it industrial right now?
I think it's commercial.
Commercial, and so you'd be
Light
rezoning it,
industrial,
Yeah.
commercial, I believe it's in the,
okay,
I don't have that in front of me, so.
okay. And it would be, it looks like 5 parcels is what the intention would be? If you're,
Right, I mean, my intention was on the block building that's on the northeast corner. There's a grass area there that I'd like to, put a small house there. And then all the way to the west, that's something there is kind of what I was, looking at, so.
Yeah.
Stick built
And
or
then fix-
modulars or what?
A stick built.
any idea yet on like square footage as, or 3-bedroom home, 2-bedroom home? kind of-
Well, I was thinking maybe like a little duplex down on the
Yeah.
end.
Okay,
So on the west end, and then just depending on how much space we have there, maybe possibly the same thing there
Yeah.
on the southeast side
cool.
along Market Street.
So,
And then just wanted to revamp the Mobley building that was there
okay,
on Height. It's on the corner of Walnut and Height, or I think that's called Walnut there. It just dead ends there. But
there's a little place over here where they pump water out of on the other side of the tracks. Is that part of it?
Yes, that's part of where Jody Balt has a little water truck thing.
Yeah.
So you'd have Bean Blossom Water Corporation for the water supply, right?
Yes, it's got all the city
And then-
utilities.
It would be good for future use to show the sewer line dotted in here, where that would be located and all, and any driveways that are used in this situation. Would there be any common driveways, or each one would be accessed by its own drive?
Well, the duplex would be a joint drive,
Okay,
Yeah,
and, and then the other would be coming straight off Market Street going north.
okay.
I mean, it's possible it could come off of Hyde Street and go west.
But it'd be good to show where those entrances go, as well as the
Right.
water and sewer line.
It's probably easier if it goes off of Hyde Street
yeah.
on,
Yeah.
on that, just, because there's a ditch right there on West Street.
Will you be
So,
putting a Mylar together on it, so? or not?
I will, but
Yeah.
she told me to wait at the time.
That's all
before I
right,
did
that's all
that,
right,
so,
just asking, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Is there a real
anticipating?
purpose for those anymore?
I don't know, we just keep them in our file.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if everything was digitally stored anymore, or if you really needed the storage. That doesn't matter, but
Are you anticipating any drainage issues on this situation?
not any more than it's already there. I mean, you're gonna have obviously two or three more roof lines, but
Okay.
You think you'll have to haul in some fill to take where the sawdust is stacked up?
no, there's no, the sawdust isn't over on that side. The
Alright.
sawdust is over on the far west
Far
side of
west
the
side.
property,
Okay. Mhm.
along the railroad tracks back there, so. And we've started cleaning up a lot of it already, but,
Yeah.
we thought we'd wait till we started to get dry weather where we can actually do something and it doesn't rain every day.
I probably missed it, but this building existing on there, in the middle of it, is that going to be removed or added to, or
Which one exactly?
Right
The big
there.
one here in the
the
main
big one in the
parcel,
middle?
not in the free zone area.
Oh, no, that's actually got the sawmill equipment in it,
It will stay?
yes. It's not in the rezone.
No.
Yeah, we don't have any plans on doing anything different on that.
You'll have an active sawmill though going same time?
Yeah, in the future,
Yeah.
we don't now, but.
Well, I know you're a timberman.
No, I mean, that's the
You
plan,
hate to
that's
get
why
rid
I
of it,
bought it, but
yeah.
the houses were already on this other section.
Yes,
So,
yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're doing now.
Does the sawmill run at night?
no, I mean, we bought it, I'd say about a year ago, we haven't run it at all yet. We've been working on equipment and stuff a little bit at a time, adding to it. But
When it does run, is it very noisy? Like, if people are living, let's say, in those homes on the rezone parcel, would they be
It's
significantly?
gonna be the same that it has been for the last 80 years. So,
Yeah.
And so people are already living there in this?
yeah,
Okay,
people
I
have
They
lived
think I
there.
missed
have
that.
been, yeah.
Yeah, I think in the one house, I think Bill Showweckers lived there 31 years, he told me.
Okay,
Uh-huh,
cool.
Now,
I missed
the
that.
town bought property directly behind on
Okay.
this side here.
For the sewer
Yeah,
plant.
for the
They
sewer
bought
plant
it off this
expansion,
property,
yeah.
so.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the neighbor.
Well, anecdotally, I know more than a few young married couples and young people in town who would love some more affordable rental opportunities, and I think duplexes sound like a good idea. People are already living over there, and they're not bothered by the sound and the industry.
Yeah, cause it's been almost about a year since it's been
Yeah,
running, but even before,
Yeah.
before that, it was
Yeah.
been running for, I
Yeah.
think they said they started it in the 40s, 1940s.
Okay.
It was-
it's a good opportunity to add more rooftops.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Presented.
Hunter, I wonder whether you could get a hold of Josh and make a site survey of the situation, just to get a further clarification on the matter. We'll get notice to Brett about when our next meeting will be on this stuff and get all the things needed to be done for publication on.
Okay,
Okay?
Y'all for,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Brett.
yep, thanks, guys.
Good to see you. Yeah, I'll forward the documents over to Josh and then
here at the planning commission. Right back here.
We've got one over
Right
here.
here, yeah,
Here
just
you go.
visitor or something.
Sign on the number 2 line would be fine.
Am I up next? I'm nervous.
Well, we won't go in.
Please don't. No tomatoes, guys. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
That might have been your pins.
Thanks.
Very much.
Thank you, Brett.
The ADU or
Sure, let's do the presentation on the board and then I can pull that ordinance up at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, fellas. Yeah, that's the presentation we're going over here. So, today I want to talk about, proposing a zoning amendment to our current ordinance, regarding accessory dwelling units, and allowing these as of right, meaning that they would not require variance in all residential zones. We can discuss if people have questions or reservations or anything. It's an open conversation right now. It's very preliminary, so just kind of throwing the idea out there. So Hunter, you can go to the next slide. First, what are ADUs? Accessory dwelling units. They're also called backyard cottages, granny flats, and a lot of other names. They're small, self-contained dwelling units built on the same lot as a larger primary residence. They can be detached, attached to the main house, or converted from existing spaces within the main house. So on this presentation here, there's a couple of visuals of maybe what some of those might look like. They should look familiar to you. I'm going to go through some photos here in a minute of some of these around our community. So next slide. Why ADUs? There's a lot of great reasons to allow ADUs as of right. Here are a few. The first one is gentle density. So accessory dwelling units create more rooftops within the existing street grid, adding much-needed housing stock to our fast-growing community. And when I say gentle density, the opposite of gentle density or some not-so-gentle density would be, say, a developer buying 15 parcels, demolishing the houses in a residential neighborhood and putting up a 5-story apartment with a big parking lot out back. That kind of density is shocking to a community. It makes the residents who live there feel like, I don't recognize this place, it's changing too fast. So ADUs are a great way to leave all the existing houses, nothing's getting demolished or replaced, but you're sort of infilling almost the people who have a big enough backyard to put one in there. It's a great way to add rooftops, like I said. Earning power. ADUs give homeowners the opportunity to earn additional income through short or long-term rentals. So these can be used as a regular rental for a young person, an old person, a young couple, 6-month, 1-year lease, something like that. They can also be used as Airbnbs. We do have a small tourism opportunity in Owen County with the state park and other natural resources, a great downtown. So I could see some of these residents wanting to use their ADU for Airbnb tourism. Tax base is the third reason. Municipalities are generally strapped for cash. There's a lot of reasons for that. But one of the great things about ADUs is you don't have to add to public liabilities. So you're putting additional rooftops in an existing street grid. So police are already serving the neighborhood. Fire protection's already serving the neighborhood. Sewer and water lines are already in. Public schools are already there. You may marginally need to add a little bit here and there to the existing capacity, but it's not like a greenfield subdivision on the edge of town where all new infrastructure is going to have to be run out, potentially adding to the police force and things like that. So it's a great way to add to the tax base without adding to public expenses. So it's helps our community be more fiscally solvent, if you will. Okay, next page or just or next slide on the presentation is just some examples around town. We all know and love these. A friend of mine, Callie Hogan, actually lives in this ADU. Next one. I don't think that this is being used as an ADU. This one here. Yeah.
Your friend lives in this house?
In the ADU out back. She
Oh,
rents.
okay.
She
'Cause
rents
I
the
was just
accessory.
telling Mike, I walk by here all the time.
Yeah.
Because I live just 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
walked-
beautiful
In fact, I
home.
walked down this alley this morning with the dogs, and I was telling my wife when I got home, I said, I don't think anybody's living in Maureen's house.
I don't know about the
I've
primary
never-
residence.
I've never seen any cars there. I occasionally see a car
Yeah.
back in the little
Yeah.
apartment.
That's Callie back there. So she works. Her parents own the coffee shop, and she lives in their
Oh, okay.
So she
backyard
has
cottage.
that upstairs there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a great little place. I've been in there. So it's a great way for Maureen to earn some passive income.
Well, Maureen sold it
Okay.
last year, and I was just telling her, I said,
Interesting.
I don't think anybody's living there yet.
She sold the primary residence, but no one's
She sold the
moved in
whole
yet.
thing. And the lot
Interesting.
next door,
Huh,
and she moved down to the senior. You probably don't know Maureen.
I don't. I heard she's a nice gal though.
Yeah,
So this next slide here, the red and yellow house, that is an example of a detached structure that could be used as an ADU if the owners were interested in it. I don't know anything about it if it's currently being used for that purpose. It's just an example of what this could look like. Next
One more
slide.
thing,
Yeah.
although examples you were just giving us, in a lot of cases, the cosmetic effect between the main house and the ADU
It
is very
matches.
similar.
Yes.
Is that a requirement or just
It
a
can be.
happenstance here?
It can be. So this is happenstance. There's actually nothing in our existing town ordinance that even allows ADUs. So most of these, like you can tell, are very old houses. They would have been built probably before our zoning code was in place. So the ADUs were either grandfathered in at some point, or if they built them recently, they got a variance or something. But some communities that have ordinances allowing ADUs specifically state that the ADU needs to match the primary residence in aesthetic and paint colors and things like that. So it's an option if we wanted to be picky or make sure that it looks pretty, we can require that.
Those don't require any addition to the sewer or the electrical or anything of that nature.
Some communities will require connections to the main lines. I don't know a lot about public infrastructure and how that all works. I know that in South Bend, the town provided incentives for homeowners who wanted to add ADUs to cover the cost of the extension to the sewer line and things like that. So I think sometimes they would require, and that's another expense the homeowner would have to furnish in the case of building an ADU that required an extension.
I think in the case where you have a connected structure, it may be possible to maintain a single point of
That's right.
service and all on the
But if it's
utilities.
detached,
But if they're detached,
yeah,
there may have to be a separate metering on those situations.
I think
We'll
you're
have to
right.
discuss that in the ordinance and all, I think. yeah.
I think you're right about that. Again, this example here, not necessarily an ADU, but could be one, matches the home. The next slide, my friend Uriah Sheese lives in this ADU. I believe it's attached to the primary residence. So the upstairs there, the stairs that lead up to those doors, that's where he lives. The next one is the really fun pink house. Again, I don't know that this is an ADU, but it could be one, and I love how it matches the primary residence. Next slide. This one, another beautiful brick structure. Could be an ADU. I don't know if it's being used for that. Next slide. There's another example there. Some of these are being used just as garages, but in places like California, a lot of people convert their detached garage into a ADU. Next slide. They have a little structure out back, the little blue building that matches the primary dwelling. And then this one here, this would be an example of something that could be an attached ADU. So the little structure just in front of the driveway, that's what an attached ADU could look like. Next slide. This brick house next to the little Catholic church, they have a brick building out back. It's a garage right now, looks like, but it could be an ADU. Next slide. The last one here, my sweet neighbor Marilyn lives here, and she has a little building out back that the paint on the door matches the primary residence, and she just does the best gardening. And so that's an example too, could be an ADU. Okay, so as you can see, many of these structures already exist in our community, so it's not a new idea necessarily. It's just kind of putting it in our zoning code to say these kinds of structures are allowed, because right now they are not allowed. So all the examples you saw, if they're being used as ADUs, they were either grandfathered in when we got our zoning code in place, or they are non-conforming technically, but they're not bothering anyone, or the primary resident was required to obtain a variance. So, next slide.
when was it,
Yeah.
like that one right there, Terry McMorrin's dad had
Yeah.
that house when he did that. And I know everybody that lives in all these houses, they're all garages basically, but when was it stated that you couldn't convert it to a rental? I mean, you're saying it's currently not available to rent.
Right now,
Or to
our
convert.
zoning code says accessory structure, every reference of accessory structure in our zoning code specifically states in parentheses, not for human habitation.
Yeah,
So-
that's non-residential
Yeah.
right now, okay?
Yeah.
Now, there's two or three things involved with this. What she's advocating in this matter is, first of all, you simplify the bureaucracy of getting approval by check marking a box that this is an ADU structure, you're going to meet those requirements. and all.
Yeah.
You would still have, for example, if it doesn't exist right now, you're gonna have to have a building permit to
Yeah.
make the modifications and have those inspected to make sure they conform to building codes, okay? That doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
The second thing that's involved here is that you're trying to, map the way they get this done.
Yeah.
One thing I was gonna ask about is, are most of these ADUs, still on land owned by the primary residence, and the function of the, ADU is to provide either a leasehold or a guest situation?
Yeah, exactly. So they're also called like in-law suites. A lot of people will rent them to their mother-in-law or, an elderly parent whose spouse has passed away. A lot of elderly homeowners will actually move into the accessory dwelling unit and rent the primary residence as a full 3 or 4 bedroom home and make a lot more revenue that way.
Now, I think McMorrin on that one, he
Yeah,
separated
yeah.
that when he did it.
Is this, see, this is
That's a separate
Presbyterian Church, and we own this building.
Oh, it actually is. Okay, that's a
Uh-huh.
mistake then on my part. I thought it was part of the.
Well, it was at one
originally,
time.
The church bought it.
And
Okay.
they moved out, and we bought it and made a food pantry out of it,
Okay.
and now we don't have a food pantry, it's just sitting vacant.
Okay. Maybe you should rent it.
Well, they talked about it, they did.
That's
talk
not a
about
bad
it,
idea. Apologies on that.
Yeah, that's all right.
You're
I
right.
kept watching, I said, no, wait a minute.
Yes, that brick house next to the Presbyterian Church, the building I thought
Passing
was
out peaches the other day out of that window.
accessory structure does not actually belong to the primary home, but the church. So correction made.
Right.
It is just visually an example of kind of
Sure,
how it
okay,
could
that's
look.
fine. No, I just, when the more I saw it, I thought, no, wait a minute.
No, you're right. That's funny. I wasn't sure when I walked past. I thought that's cute, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so in order to accommodate a growing demand for housing nationwide, communities around the country and in our own state of Indiana have updated their zoning ordinances to allow ADUs in residential zones. So again, many of these structures already existed, but communities are just taking the extra step to explicitly put in their zoning ordinance and say, these structures are allowed, here is the way that they are allowed. Like Richard said, they still have to abide by the building code and the fire code, and they still have to be inspected. So a few Indiana examples that you may recognize are Greenwood, Columbus, South Bend, other cities like that. I want to say Franklin. I think that Madison is rezoning right now to allow more of these because they are do not have enough housing. But barriers still exist, like rising construction costs, lengthy permitting processes and timelines, and prohibitive zoning requirements. So that's kind of what I was hoping to address here is the zoning issue.
Okay.
So that's kind of the end of my presentation. I do have some model ordinance language that I got from a professional town planner and urban designer through the Incremental Development Network. There it is on the screen. We don't have it printed right now, but I will send this to you all, and then if we open this for public comment, I'll have copies there.
Okay.
But basically, this ordinance here is designed to be as minimally prohibitive as possible so as to encourage homeowners to build ADUs if they have the financial capacity to do so. It says no increase in lot size, frontage, or setbacks will be required beyond what's required for the single-family dwelling without an ADU. Number 2, in addition to the principal dwelling, the parcel can have up to 2 ADUs. The ADU shall not be larger than 40% of the gross living area, or 1,200 square feet, whichever is greater. Some communities have set the maximum square footage of their ADUs at 800 square feet, so they're very small structures.
Yeah.
I don't have a strong feeling one way or the other. Maybe some of you guys do. I think that 1,200 square feet sounds
I
modest
think
too.
they sleep upstairs and they come down the ladder and live downstairs.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
it's like a tiny house type
Yeah.
of situation. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Number 3, they can be located attached or detached. Number 4, all existing regulations applicable to single-family homes also apply to the ADU. Number 5, adequate provisions for water supply and sewage disposal for the ADU. Number 6, converting an existing structure or a portion of an existing structure, blah, 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 shall comply with all applicable sections of the Fire and Building Code. Number 7, an ADU can be created in an existing dimensionally nonconforming principal or accessory structure provided the ADU does not increase the dimensional nonconformity. That's kind of, Richard might have to explain that to us, the legal jargon there. Number 8, applicants are required to meet the requirements of the town's building permit application. No additional parking space is required. This is big. Parking requirements have stunted many a development effort. So
We have some parking. areas, yeah.
Yeah, we have, I think, ample street parking in this town. So if this group is okay with it, my suggestion would be no additional parking requirements beyond what the primary residence is already required to furnish, because most of these are gonna be in the traditional historic street grid where there's plenty of street parking, so. Also, if there is not parking, I think the onus would be on the homeowner to read the room and say, hey, I need to put in a parking spot for my renter. Okay, units created under this ordinance may be sold as condominiums only after conforming to the appropriate state statute and provided they comply with all necessary subdivision regulations. That's neither here nor there for me. This just says you can sell the ADU. Maybe we want to say they're only for being rented if we have a preference. So again, this is just a model legislation. We can talk about it or allow public comment, see what other people think, but it's an example of a very minimally restrictive approach just to make as few barriers as possible.
Existing. Or can you
To
build
allow new construction.
new construction?
Yeah, existing and new construction, yeah.
I know my daughter lives in Canada, out in British Columbia, and they have Canadian BC boxes. They build a whole home downstairs. They put the primary home on top of it, and
Wow.
the people renting the downstairs pays the mortgage.
Wow, yeah.
It's got bathrooms and everything, kitchens,
Yeah.
living rooms and bedrooms.
That's kind of the idea,
Yeah.
is that for a lot of like elderly homeowners, maybe
Yeah.
their only income is Social Security retirement income, and they're paying for this big primary residence. That extra passive income could be
She
a
said
big help.
she's gonna take me up there when I get to that point.
Check it out, see if it works for
I'm
you.
gonna let her.
So, okay, well, I'm happy to take questions. I'll come back to the table though if anybody has any. Otherwise, that's all mine.
No, good
You did
presentation.
a fine
You
job.
put a lot of time and effort in
I
this.
did. That's something I think about a lot, so
You sure
I'm very
have.
passionate about it.
Sure have.
Hey Kevin, I
Yeah.
have one question.
Yeah.
Would there be any like the ADU unit has to be a certain amount of square footage?
So that's something we can talk about. I was gonna say, some communities, usually they just set a maximum. There's no minimum, because the idea is these should be efficient, small buildings that don't dwarf the primary residence visually. So usually the requirement is it can't be more than 40% the size of the primary residence. Some communities will say 800 square feet or less is what you're allowed. Some say, like in this example of ordinance, it was 1,200 square feet or less, so a bit more generous. But there's no minimum, there's just actually a maximum, because the idea is that they should be small.
To a very practical level, the way this is probably going to come into being is if you develop a statutory change to our current structure and all, those will be implemented by the town council and become part of the legislative process that we have. And a person reading that, wanting to build an ADU unit and all, will be coming to the town, probably more likely than not, because they're inquiring about a building permit,
Yeah.
okay? And that will be the time when the building inspector will need to have this checklist of items to go through about what's going to be the condition of this particular building and does it meet the requirements of an ADU unit and all. One of the things we need to discuss going forward, of course, is going to be, in the town of Spencer, we have a phenomenal number of properties that are not owned by persons, or they're owned by persons living outside the town of Spencer.
Yeah.
It could be as many as 65 or 70% of the houses we've got. I don't know what the total population is, but it's a huge number.
Really? Wow.
It's just.
So the rental,
Yeah, they're all rentals.
rentals, okay.
Yeah, and we know this because we know who is coming in to seek the utilities, okay? So we've got a good handle on who the renters are. But of course, the state legislature's made it more difficult to collect on utilities that are not being paid by the landlord. No, if the tenant's the one there, we can only look to the tenants to make sure those utilities are paid. So, one of the things we've got to be certain is who is entitled to make the application. Certainly, the leasehold person on that property cannot make the
Right.
application for the ADU.
Right,
It's
it
got
would
to
have
be
to be
the
the-
owner of the property,
Yeah.
okay? So there are little nuances like that that we will have to work through and build this checklist that would help us accommodate these particular things. The other thing is we probably need to look at the map of our current zoning and determine exactly which residential areas are going to be suitable for this. There are some lots in town of Spencer that are what we call traditionally sized 60 by 120. but there are some lots that are smaller, okay? And it's gonna be a problem of potentially the density on those properties, which doesn't mean they can't be built, but it might mean that they have to go through the variance process, okay? So, we have to look at those dimensional things as part of the intake process of what goes on. And, I think we can do all that, it's just a matter of just accommodating what we're looking at. Population of the town of Spencer is thought to be right now at about 2,500 people. But I would tell you that with the new Texas Pike subdivision being annexed in, we're talking another 300 that will be adding to our population, and perhaps more, because the influx of businesses that are gonna come in to service all of the housing objectives we're doing are gonna bring more people and customers to businesses like and all. So, we wanna do all those things. We also just had a meeting with Commonwealth, our engineering firm, and we were told that they've gone back to SRF. We have an engineering report that was submitted to SRF seeking approval for about a $13 million improvement in our wastewater treatment. We wanna increase the capacity and size to be able to handle these housing developments and all. And we need to upgrade our equipment, which hasn't been upgraded probably since 1993. So we need more electronics and more monitoring things that will help us be more efficient and all. So we had initially submitted the engineering report earlier this year and had come out with SRF being about 16th on their list. And Commonwealth was very concerned about that because quite oftentimes only the top 10 projects can get funded. They went back to SRF and convinced them that the nuances of what we were doing and the regional approach that we had to trying to service our own population as well as outlying suburban areas justify further ranking, and we moved up to number 6.
Wow.
They
we
actually
are-
got the
we are
scoring sheet
fully-
and went over it, the way they scored Spencer.
Wow.
And we are fully expecting to get an offer from SRF for funding, not only of a low interest rate long-term, but also some grant, okay? So we are really looking very forward to this, and we've been very good about getting all the precursors in place. We have our asset management plan, we have our plant footprint can be expanded easily and stuff like that. So we're ready to go. And so we're looking forward to getting those things in place and all. And so I'm thinking that this is just another feature to what we're trying to do to be able to accommodate the new things. As I've said before, it is very conceivable that we could increase our population by as many as 5,000 to 5,000 over a period of the next 5 years. Cook was meeting with me just Monday, and I talked with Ron Walker. He indicated to me that they have sold and are occupying, new owners are occupying 27 of the structures that they built out there, soon to be 30. They are building 10 more that will be finished early this spring or summer. And then in the fall, they hope to have another 10. So they will have in place by the end of 2025, early 26, 50 structures. That's half of the build out that they intended, okay? So those are all very positive outcomes at all. We've also seen the good news that the assessment valuations for the new lots that are above the original base that we had for just unimproved land have significantly increased the assessment value, the property values in those locations and all, and will contribute to the residential TIF that we have out there at Texas Pike. So we have all those things working for us at this point in time, and probably more to come. So
What did you say the percentage of rental was in town?
between 60 and 70.
That's steep, yeah.
I mean, when I walk all
Surprising.
around the northeast
What has
neighborhood
happened?
that I do every day, I know there's a few rentals, some old Rick Hero junk.
Yeah.
What is the phenomenon's happened in many, many rural communities is the older population who either left town or decided to go into senior citizen centers or whatever else, the relatives did not want to come back and own and occupy those properties at all. So they converted them into essentially rental structures and all. you'll find that there are many trusts that are involved with holding properties and all, and it's really just amazing. Cheryl was the first one to point this out to me with what her discovery was in just the utility bills and all, so.
Wow.
And there are actually communities, and I think Greenwood was one of them, their town council was concerned because they were having so many rental properties, they were thinking about trying to stop and stem the tide of people not being able to own and occupy the properties in their county and town.
Actually putting like a cap on
Yeah.
rental properties.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I hate to see that because you know you need the rental property too. We need every form of
Yeah.
housing,
Yeah.
so, but at any rate, we're in a good position to accelerate what we're doing and keep going. We've got appropriate land, we just need to get the infrastructure to it so it can handle the densities required to be efficient in expanding housing. That's the whole thing.
We need younger generation in it too.
Yeah, much younger, I'm thinking now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
Anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Good meeting.
That's all for today. I'll have more for you guys soon, probably.
Interesting.
Thank you for all of your work.
Yeah, happy to.
Presentation.
Yeah, it was fun walking around the neighborhoods and taking pictures of great houses, so
They thought you were surveilling them.
probably. I was looking out in case I needed to explain myself to anyone.
I was telling, not to get off of this, but since he said next year quickly, that I was hoping Tony was here. I was telling Mike.
Yeah.
I was out walking today and run across a couple of city workers and told them that we've got a problem over Spencer Presbyterian Church. There's a tree that's really starting to come down a little bit. And last week, a big branch and stuff fell everywhere. And we had, my wife and I had to go over and clean it up because our son was mowing and he couldn't even get around everything.
Yeah.
So, the guys I run into said, well, you need to go down here and talk to Cheryl and fill out a form. So I did, if you guys get one, that's what it's about.
Yeah, he'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah,
He'll
that
take a look
tree.
at it.
Tree could, we just worry about people
It is
walking
a
on the
big-
sidewalk and
yeah.
then something fall on them, that just.
It
that's
is a
bothersome.
huge old tree right down
You
there by the
might-
stoplight,
you might
yeah, and
show
it's
you.
leaning
Yeah, it's just north.
towards the house that the minister would live in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the Lutheran church,
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian church, I mean, yeah.
One other thing that the board has been considering and looking at is that we've had a fiber optic company come in that would like to completely refurbish the fiber optic system that we have for the town of Spencer. And they've got a proposal on the table. We're gonna need to see if there's a way to fund it and all. It's $250,000 payable in $50,000 increments per year.
Next 5 years.
Over 5 years. But the interesting part about it is that this would be a true fiber optic current technology that would be servicing literally all the entire town of Spencer, all of its business operations and like and all. It would be interesting because it would give a competitive advantage to merchants in our area and stuff like that. And
Well, people,
provide some additional resources because we've got sporadic services in some cases and all. And previous to this time, we've had estimates from people like Comcast, Xfinity, and others and all in the millions of dollars to do the same project. So this is the best price we've gotten from anybody. So we need to find a way to see if there's a way to fund that, to make that work and all. It would be, I think, beneficial to everybody, so we're gonna explore that too.
they're almost a local because they operate out of Nashville, Indiana. They have all the crews, bucket trucks and the whole thing. They actually do the installations with contractors, but they do it according to
I
the
think they gave us an estimate, they could do it within a
short period of time.
6-month period of
Yeah.
time.
Some of it over top, but most of it underground, yeah.
Oh, what was that they were running down Hillside last year?
You know,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so they ran fiber from the elementary school to the high school. I think that was in Denver that that.
SCI, I think,
Yeah.
ran the fiber, came in across the river, took it
Yeah.
through the town.
So it's only connected to the,
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
so those
A
are
and B
proprietary
ends.
lines.
okay.
Um,
I didn't know if they
But
were
for people
expanding
working
that
at
line.
home, you know, it'd be ideal. I mean, you can invite more people into your city if
Well-
you have speed on the fiber.
There are many people who absolutely have it as a minimum requirement for what their needs are in housing anymore, so it would be a good thing to have.
I think the banks had Blue Marble or something for a long time.
Yeah, SBC Global, Blue Marble.
I just had our cable line to our house got
Uh-huh.
mistakenly cut by Duke 2 weeks ago when they were fixing the utility hole. And it took 2 weeks to get Xfinity to cut.
Oh,
We
dude.
put that line back up so we couldn't watch TV, we
Yeah.
couldn't use internet.
Couldn't do anything.
Your Wi-Fi was.
And then, I call them, they kept canceling the appointment. I'm like, I just need you to connect the line.
I was on the phone with Xfinity, they put
Have
me
a
on
sign out
call
there in
center
front that
somewhere.
says, welcome to Spencer, watch all your soaps.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, they're not too prompt in responding. Comcast isn't. I've made many trips to Bloomington to the Comcast Infinity Center.
I'll take back the folders, you guys can keep the contents.
Okay. Do we need to ask for any public comment? Did we have old business?
Don't think so, I think we covered it with what my
Okay.
remarks were, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
If the BZA meets now, which I don't know, you got a quorum?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just missing Leah, right?
Yeah, for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Richard, what would be the process then if this group wanted to review the ADU concept and draft some of our own, ordinance language to recommend to the?
I'm gonna see if I can't assemble something preliminarily to ship out to everybody and then
And
blog
get
it.
comments?
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah,
great, that
yeah.
sounds great, thank you for doing that.
I'll
Yeah.
give Richard your folder there.
Yes, okay.
Remember, keep it simple.
You can
Keep it
take the
simple.
paperwork if
Okay.
you want it.
I'll send you the example I had on the screen there, Richard, and then
Yeah.
if you wanna use any of that or not, it's up to you.
Okay.
Do you need any of this back, or?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
What up?
Hey, thanks. You guys all take care, have a good night.
Yeah.
You cool too.
Yeah, see you next month.
There's a spare one there for somebody.
John told me that they were gonna cut it down, but, and they haven't done so, and it's kinda hanging, kind of, so. We'll see.
That was too bad when I went down the street and saw that, and a lot of other trees.
Don't you leave?
I'm not leaving,
You're on
buddy.
Chauffeur
I'm
Hunt,
right
so-
here. I'm the audience right now.
Yeah, okay.
Everybody's fine.
This is, who's this at?
It's my keys, I forgot them.
Okay.
Okay, is Hunter on this one? Where'd Hunter go?
You look. There,
Back there.
there he is.
Okay, we'll call the Town of Spencer Board of Zoning Appeals July 22nd meeting to order. And we have all members present except for Leah Taylor.
Hey, Richard.
Leah told us she wouldn't be able to make it tonight, so.
Yep.
Richard.
Can I have my folder? I didn't get a folder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sure I got one.
I probably need to sign in too, so.
There you go. There you go.
You got the
we
sign-in
have-
sheet?
Did you not sign in?
No,
yet?
I ran
Okay.
around and didn't make it all the
Let
way
me
to
go
the end.
right
Here, I apologize.
Get with the program here.
I know,
What's the deal?
There you go.
I'm not on the ball. Thank you.
All right, Chris?
Okay, so we have minutes from the January meeting. And if everybody has had a chance to look those over, and if there's any questions or changes to be made, and if not, we'll have a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
I'll move their approval.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
It's January signed.
I'll circulate this for signature.
That sign-in sheet's on. sign-in sheet that's connected to that.
He has a
one.
sign-in sheet for tonight's meeting.
It's coming
No,
around.
so, oh,
Well, this is the
Oh,
minutes, that's the minutes,
Oh,
not the sign-in sheet.
he had the sign-in sheet.
That was the one that he had, did he?
yeah, so I handed it back to you. It was attached to January minutes.
January minutes.
All right, what are we doing?
No, that's all right.
This is extra.
Yeah, that was the extra agendas and all. And,
So,
well, we just had it, guys.
That's all right.
there are the minutes signed.
Okay.
Well, you handed it to Brett to sign when he was, and
Yeah, but we had one that was he signed it, I thought. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is. Thank you.
There are not too many signatures on this yet.
and, do we have any new business?
We really have covered everything in what you already heard in the planning commission and all, as far as that's concerned, so you're pretty much caught up with everything. We just really had that one thing of, I'm glad you were here to hear all the other stuff. We are thinking that with, this new Brett Franklin process, there may be a couple of items that would need to have attention to the variance because of the possible setbacks or any other thing that we find from the inspection. So the next time we meet, which would be for the approval of these things and all, we may very well need to have a follow-up variance meeting as well. But again, not many things will be coming before the variance committee because so much of our layout of the entire town has already been done. So we really don't have any variances to make. So I think we're caught up.
Okay. Good. No old business,
Same thing.
BZA comments? Well, that's it, so,
I make a
unless there's
motion
anything
to
else?
adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second? We got a second? Ed seconds, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.